Welcome back to the Blunt.
And the Based. How are you?
Super awesome.
Of course you are. You're always super awesome.
Or at
Um,
least I pretend to be.
that's right. Don't we
Make
all?
it till you make it.
Girl, that's been my motto for like 3.5 years.
hmm
Some days it's better than others.
Usually it's naturally, great, but sometimes you just have to fake it.
Yep.
It'll come back. It'll be fine.
That's right.
We've been on a hiatus pretty
We
much.
have. I mean, we've had a lot going on. You had surgery. We've had I'm in the middle of a almost to the end of a divorce, moved cross country. Like we've had a lot,
Going on.
a lot going
And the
on.
fact that we're able to just come together, the way we do, we're really lucky to have each other. So we're glad to be able to, give you a little episode here and there until we get on our regular schedule
Yeah,
again.
we will get back to it soon. But yeah, we're still super passionate. You can still find us all over IG. We just have been dealing with life, as everyone is probably dealing with right now. So,
Yes, absolutely.
but today we wanted to talk about politics. Um,
Yes.
specifically just, we haven't talked anything about since Kamala was assumed the position of I'm going to be the Democratic nominee even though I didn't get a vote, didn't get elected, but and shame on you Republicans and you conservatives for not believing in democracy even though I got basically assumed into my place. Isn't that kind of like a dictatorship or what do we
100%. I
okay.
mean,
I'm not sure what we call
100%.
I guess what they do doesn't count. It doesn't matter. It's only what, you know.
Maybe they did it the way they did it so that because they knew nobody would actually like elect her for the Democratic candidate, so they held Biden hostage
Yeah.
up until the last moment, and then people did vote for him. Why I don't know, but okay. Uh, and now he can't. He's unable. He's mentally incapable. He was mentally incapable 4 years ago, but now for real, after we already have the Democratic vote for Biden, we're just
Yeah.
gonna slip in a candidate of our choice and be on our way. And American people don't get to have a say.
Yeah. It you know what is mind-boggling to me is that the more Democrats are not upset about that, like that they didn't get the opportunity to vote for a candidate to represent them as the presidential nominee. It, it really is mind-boggling to me. Like I don't understand. Like I used to think that, Democrats were decently smart people, critical thinkers, logical, but I don't think that anymore. I really don't. Like it's really hard to logically look at what happened with Kamala's nomination, if we want to call it that, and not more Democrats come out and be like, hey, wait a minute, we didn't actually vote on this. Like, this is not me saying that we want her to represent us as the Democratic nominee. Like, I don't get, I truly don't get it. I really don't get it. Like,
It's like I mean, they fight for people to have rights to do whatever it is that they want, but yet when somebody is literally placed into a position the way Harris has,
yeah,
they're like okay with it. Like, yes, that's fine. You just do whatever you think is best for me. I'm like, that is weird. That
I
is
know.
so weird. Like, do you not have a backbone? Like,
That's I is it that or like is there something else really fundamentally going on with them in their brains? Like is there
I
are
don't.
they
I think
just
it's manipulation.
is it manipulation? Okay, because it could be
Like
like
maybe some
confirmation
stupidity.
bias. Like is it the vortex that they're living in? Like they're not able to they don't have any self-awareness as to what else is going on around them. and how everything that they preach to us about what we are trying to do or are supposedly allegedly doing, they're actually really doing and we're not. I That's what I mean, the same thing with the alphabet mafia. We could have the same discussion, like the party of love and inclusivity until you don't agree with them on something and then you're like a transphobe, homophobe, xenophobe, a Nazi, a member of the KKK, like whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like I posted, I do what's on my TikTok feed every day. I'm like on day 93 now. And I posted a young lady yesterday, and she was a lifelong Democrat. She's black. And somebody commented on it, basically calling her what did they an Uncle Tom?
Yeah.
They call him an Uncle Tom or whatever. Yeah, or like she's a Nazi, and I'm like, how how did you gather that from what all she was saying was, I'm not going to be, she said, I was two things 4 years ago and I refuse to be those two things again. And those two things were dumb and broke. And now she's just is going to be broke, but she's not going to be dumb, and she's going to vote for the person that she knows is better for America. And I got a ton of hate comments from Black creators. A very big Black creator commented on it, hate towards her. And it's like, I don't get it. Have you watched any of the DNC?
Yeah, I was watching it for as long as I could tolerate it. Like, I don't
I
know,
feel like
this
I need to be
white old lady.
to watch it.
I mean, there's not enough blunts in the world. There's not enough alcohol that you could ingest to make that palatable for you.
Palatable. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I swear it was literally every speaker was talking about how much Trump is so horrible. Like, it didn't talk about policies,
Yeah.
not things that we can change. None of that. We're going to sit here for this next week and bash Donald Trump instead of actually like putting out policies that would get them elected,
But
because they don't
that's what
have
we
any
do.
policies. They have no policies. What they did in the first
What's the
day of
same
the
damn policies they
DNC,
had for 3.5 years, though?
but
It's Kamala's policies are Biden's policies, though. That's what is mind-boggling to me. People are like, "Oh, yeah, she says once she gets into office, she's gonna make a change on day one." Bitch, you're already in office, though. You've been in office for 3.5 years.
what have
Like,
you done?
yeah, that's what I'm
Go
saying.
ahead
Like,
and go off of that. Let that be what, boost them, people to vote for you, is by what you've done for the last 3.5 years. She ain't done nothing but cackle.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I take that back. She went ahead and was I guess the final signature to add tax on tips.
She
She
did.
did get that accomplished.
She
So
did.
she got
She did
to take that
stick
away
the
from the middle
IRS.
class. Yeah,
She's Yeah, she did stick the IRS on working class,
yeah,
specifically attacking like your Venmo,
yeah.
if you're getting tips for anything, if you're in the service industry. She was literally the signature that put that bitch into office. Nope, we taxing you on all that shit. We don't care.
We need
Because we
that in
don't
our
get taxed
pockets.
enough. We don't get taxed enough.
No.
Let's tax more. Yeah.
And but the highlight of the DNC last night was that they were able to accomplish killing 10 babies.
Yeah. They're offering free vasectomies and free abortions. And like I just did a story, which I've had a couple people now ask me to make it into a reel. So I guess I'm going to turn it into a reel. But I was just having a quick thought here. It's like, how did we get from, like, I used to really believe that liberals were just good people with really bad ideas. Like they just were brainwashed. They've got went somewhere wrong, whatever. You can get manipulated. I get it. Like, it happens, especially like with young people. But for you to celebrate murdering an innocent child because what you did resulted in you getting pregnant, even though there's like 21 different types of contraceptives, including emergency contraception, you are going to murder a baby because that baby's life is inconvenient for you. And then you're going to celebrate that. I don't know how we got from not being, because there's a lot of internal dialogue with like conservatives, Republicans, white right leaning people about disagreements on, we don't all agree on what the abortion laws and rules and stipulations should look like. But the left has gone so far that they are just, let's celebrate it. Let's have careless sex. Let's not worry about STDs. Let's not worry about the emotional damage that happens to women whenever they actually go through with an abortion. Let's not worry about any of that. Let's celebrate murdering babies like it's some type of like satanic ritual. And now I am completely convinced that liberals are really rotten people. This makes it even more like aware and like alarming to me that this really truly is spiritual warfare. These people are evil.
Well, yeah.
They're evil.
I mean, at this point, I mean, I feel like there's enough information out there for you to draw off your own conclusion. Like, if you're really looking at situations, just like Harris, already putting the tax on those tips and taxing our, Cash App and Venmo, so on and so forth. Like, she's showing you who she is.
Yeah.
And people are just refusing to look at it.
You're just
Like,
oh,
why are
whatever.
you playing? Like, why are you trying so hard to be so accepting to a political party that is literally draining you dry, killing your children, and mutilating their bodies and castrating them chemically? Like, how is it that you could sign off on anything that they have to say at that point?
I don't get it.
I don't care if the Democratic Party was about to tell me that they would give me $100,000 every year, and I just had to be accepting to these things. There's no way. Like, money doesn't mean that much to me.
Yeah.
Like, there's no convincing me into thinking that way, and I don't understand why it's so hard for people to grasp that we just don't want to mutilate children and kill them off in the womb. Like, why we want you to have, responsibility for your own actions.
Well, yeah, that's
period.
That's
at
what
the
it's
end of the day,
about.
that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. And that's what, like, the biggest corporation that makes money off of abortions is Planned Parenthood. And their whole thing is, oh, it's advocating for women's health care. Bullshit. Y'all don't care about women's health care because
I'm a woman and I never needed that health care.
But if
I'm
you
a woman
did,
and I never did it.
If they truly cared about it, why wouldn't they care about women who were having unprotected sex and what that was doing to their bodies? Why wouldn't they care about young women being put in those situations where they got pregnant? Did they ask clarifying questions? Did they see if these women were, because there's a lot of situations around child trafficking, kids that are victims of child trafficking that are brought to Planned Parenthood and they are just given abortions and no one gives a damn about it. They don't ask about that. They don't ask about kids being molested by their own family members and being brought there to abort the baby and get rid of the evidence. They don't ask about any of that. They don't care. And then you hear all of those heartbreaking stories of women who actually went through the abortion, not because they wanted to, because they thought they had no other option. They thought that they were forced to because maybe they were in abusive situations, maybe they were, being manipulated, and then they didn't feel like they had a way out because the father was basically forcing them to do it, and they didn't have resources to do anything else, or they thought that they didn't. And then years later, the emotional and mental impact that that abortion still has on them, like, they don't give a shit about women or women's health care. Because if they did, they would talk about preventatives. They would address the issues at hand that a lot of these women are going through. Plus, they also wouldn't target minorities and low income women because they're just preying on the most vulnerable of society. That's all they're doing. You know, and they're making billions off of this. They're making billions off of aborting babies and then selling those body parts to other people. Like, you really gave a shit. Why don't you give the money that you sell that fetus to the mom, the one that aborted it? Like, if you really care about women's health care, you care about the well-being of that woman that just did that, give her some money, give her a kickback. Not to mention the government funding that they're getting. So all of our tax dollars are also supporting all of this too, which seems like a violation in itself for me, for someone who doesn't believe in it, is a religious conflict for me. But yet my tax dollars are going to pay for it, to fund it. Like, and now they are also doing the hormone therapy.
Oh yeah.
They prey on the most vulnerable. Yeah, they're capitalizing on HRT now because they care so much. Like,
They could care less.
I know. It's so frustrating to see. Really crazy. I haven't watched any of it yet, but I've had a few followers ask me to do some coverage of it, and it's so hard for me to watch the stupidity and not get aggravated, and I try not to get aggravated. But I saw a few clips of Biden's speech. He looked unhinged. And then
I didn't make it that far into it.
I don't even know what Biden this is. Like, I feel like we've seen 3 different Bidens in like the last like 3 appearances. I feel like it's a different Biden every time. I know for sure the one at the White House with Jill.
When he's like tall as
like 7 foot tall, and I'm like,
y'all couldn't have picked somebody else.
I'm like, come on, y'all, like, that is so damn obvious. And I'm like, people, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist here, but y'all don't. What's going on here? Like, look at him next to Jill. That's not the same dude. Even his hands were weird. Did you see his hands? They were. I'm like, God, they think we're stupid, huh? Or some people must be stupid because they believe it. Like, I don't know. This is so annoying. Anyway, we wanted to talk a little bit about Kamala because, like, we are curious about policy on everything, and also completely confused as to why people are all of a sudden like rallying behind her. Well, they say because she's a Black woman, which she never claimed her Black ethnicity until recently. Her father also doesn't talk to her. They don't really have like a relationship. I don't know if you saw that she went on like Charlemagne the God and made a comment about smoking weed or whatever, and then her father made a statement. Yeah. And she was raised Indian. Her mom is Indian. She was raised Indian. But she also doesn't, like, she claimed that culture in the beginning whenever she was, I guess, first like introduced into politics, and then now she's not claiming that. So now we're all supposed to vote for her because she's Black and she's a woman. But 6 weeks ago, the left could not define what a woman was. So again, make it make sense, right?
We can't. But
what we can do is we're gonna watch some clips, and then we're gonna talk about them. Okay, this one right here. Let's watch. This is the one about the tips. This is good.
Tips for service and hospitality workers.
When I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
So that was Donald Trump in June of 2024 at his Las Vegas rally. He was already talking about the taxes on tips. Next, we're going to see a clip of Kamala, and this was August 10th of this year, obviously, also in Vegas.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
When I get to
First of all, what the fuck is a hospitality worker?
I mean, tips happen like restaurant everywhere. Like it's not just hospitality.
No, I know, but she said hospitality.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she said hospitality. Hospitality. I'm like, what the hell is a hospitality worker? It's hospitality. Come on now.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so bitch, you were the one that signed that law into office, and no one is calling her out on it. Not only did she steal that concept from Donald Trump is saying that to revoke what she literally signed into office. Like
He wouldn't even have that as a thing to do had she not done it in the first place.
Exactly. Like he wouldn't have even had to like say, well, he's going a step further and he's going to eliminate it from all tips. But she's the one that was like, yeah, let's hire the 87,000 IRS agents and get them to track, your $20 that you got on Venmo so we can get the tax off of that too. Like,
it's just, why not have done things while you were in office? That's what I don't get about Democrats. They love talking, but they don't actually ever do anything, because if they would do something, then there wouldn't be a problem and maybe they wouldn't be as needed. I honestly believe that. Like, there's a reason that our forefathers wanted limited government. Limited. Yeah. And at this point, these people are going into office and becoming millionaires. Yeah. Off of our money, off of policies that actually hurt us rather than help us. Yep. But the people that it's helping is them.
It's them.
Then they have manipulated society to the point where they're signing off and voting for it.
Yep. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. The other thing, the next clip we're going to watch is, so we all know that she was border czar. She was in charge of the border, correct? We all know this. All right. That is a hot topic because the illegal immigration that is happening is causing so many issues, not just safety issues, but tax issues with us, financial implications. Just we cannot sustain it. Everybody knows this. Not only are we dealing with like all of these illegals because they dumped the worst of the worst from their prisons and sent them to us. We're dealing with like violent crime, gang members, and our legal system really isn't doing anything with them. Like I heard of like 3 rapes by illegal aliens yesterday, and it was all somewhere up north, like Massachusetts, New York, something like that. So we're dealing with all of this, and the financial strain and all of the other implications that are happening as far as like, we talked about this before, like the kids getting kicked out of like their schools, the homeless shelters being reallocated to, the illegals, and all of the other fucking issues, because they don't care about American citizens. They care about the people that will line their pockets at this point. And we all know, let's just be factual here, the illegal immigration is to replace their voter base, because they have managed to alienate so many people that they can no longer count on the Black vote, the Latino vote, the woman vote. Like, they cannot count on these votes, so they have to replace it with some new form of identity politics, and this is where we're getting the influx. But people are now quickly forgetting about the whole border czar situation. So we're going to watch this clip real quick about Kamala talking about the border.
The border is secure.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
We
This
can call the
was
border secure.
this was NBC. Like, what? What is her definition of secure?
Um, I don't know, because it's definitely not that. I was just watching a video how Venezuelans, illegals were in Colorado and have taken over 2 different apartment complexes and told the landlords, if you come over here, we're going to kill you. The landlord goes and calls the FBI. FBI goes, hey, that's not my problem.
Wow.
And so when the bank calls them up and says, hey, your mortgage is due, well, these Venezuelans are taking all of the rent money. They're like pretty much armed, going around these apartment complexes and being like, hey, you better pay your rent to me. This is happening in the US.
That's insane.
And nobody's going to help them. And guess what? If he were to go over there and start shooting some people and
He would
pulling
get
some people, he would go to jail.
I did not. See, this kind of shit is so infuriating. Like, how are they allowing this?
Please go do your research. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the article or the video, but I'm just saying, like, these are the kind of situations that are happening that are impacting Americans, and they do not care.
I know they
Paris could care less. She's like, oh, it is secure. Just because you're saying it's secure doesn't mean it's secure. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true.
We know it's not secure. Fuck.
But she
You know
thinks
what's
that if she
ironic?
says it.
You know what's ironic? They're all about no wall. What did they put around the DNC?
A wall.
They sure the fuck did. Why is that? Why? Why you need a wall?
They don't need secure. Secure what? Why?
Yeah, what are you securing?
What are you so scared for?
Exactly.
What you scared about?
Oh my god, this is what I can't get. I don't get it. I don't get why people are even remotely considering that she is a good candidate. Like, I just don't fucking get it. I don't get that. Anyway, we got 2 more clips. We're gonna watch. The next one is that's the one from you. So this is her talking about her time as the DA or the assistant DA, right? Something like that. Let's just listen to what she has to say.
And listen to what she's saying.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about it. I don't want to give it away.
That with the swipe, I learned, I think I was, 22 when I started that work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work, and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. All because of the swipe of my pen.
And she goes on to say that all that could happen just for her to drop the charges weeks later. But that's not until after you've lost your job, you've gone in debt for to hire legal help. The humiliation of being arrested on a simple charge, or maybe a charge that you weren't guilty of at all.
Yeah. But when you take it, don't even think about it being her saying that. Think about just someone in a political position saying that. What does that sound like to you?
It's a dictator.
It sounds like we are not really on like some ethical ground here, right? Like,
there's nothing off of the table.
And you know what's interesting is that when she was the DA in California, she wrongfully convicted someone, a black guy who has spoken out against her. And she also was fighting because, of course, if you wrongfully convict someone and you are the prosecuting attorney, you don't want to agree to allow, new evidence to come in, which is going to soil your reputation, because God forbid you be a morally sound person and want to do the right thing. You just want to protect your reputation. And so she actually was also involved in like not allowing the evidence to come to light until it was kind of forced upon them. And then he did get exonerated from the charges. But how fucking shitty, how scary is that? How scary is that? Just on like a lawyer DA level, we know that there's corruption in the courts. We know this, but it's scary on like on a local level, on a DA level, on a, county parish level. But then think about that thought process in the White House. Like, that's fucking scary.
It is. It's saying that she can do whatever she wants whenever she wants, just by
The
swipe
swipe of a pen.
It's very intimidating. Like she's letting you know exactly what she's capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And people are advocating for her to be in office. Like, it could be you one day. It might be all the Republicans, all the conservatives. Eventually, it will be you, because it's just, that's the way it is. Especially in Germany, and during the reign of Nazis. I mean, they came for like the Protestants, the this, the that, the this. You're next.
Right. Yeah, it is giving me Nazi vibes, because it's like, well, whatever it is. And that's kind of like the state that we're living in right now. Like, it's really scary just to be a conservative. Look at the January 6th stuff. Look at the grandma that was sentenced for peacefully protesting about the abortion, the pro-life grandma. Like, none of that makes any sense. But you're going to allow illegals in here. They rape women and children, and then they get out on bond.
Or hey, guess what? The average American, alcoholism is alive and well here in the U.S. and all over the world. And you drink and drive, you about to have about $14,000 worth of debt. You're about to have to go to some classes, which you should. However, then you have these illegal immigrants that charges are just being dropped.
Yeah,
they're being provided. They're being provided an attorney. Yep. They're not a U.S. citizen. Yep. They should be deported to the border, especially when you're talking about committing a crime. But instead, guess what? They're allowed to go scot-free after doing that.
Yep.
But somebody like me, because I've had a DUI. You know what I mean? And I had to follow all the procedures. I had to do all the things. I had to cross my T's and dot my I's.
Yeah.
But these illegal immigrants are coming over, breaking the law, and being let off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's irritating to me. I think we have one more clip.
You do. So I'm going to preface this because this is actually, I have the clip of Dave Ramsey talking about her economic plan. And Dave Ramsey is not, necessarily a conservative. He's a financial guru guy. And she finally did come out, because she has not come out with any type of policy. She finally did come out with her economic plan, which talks about price gouging, which, by the way, is a total socialist thing. And didn't we have a president that tried to do it back in the day, and it failed miserably, and it sent us into a supply and demand issue where there were shortages, and so it's not good in any way. Like, grocery stores don't typically have a huge profit, margin profit anyway. It's not like we're talking about Gucci bags or something where their profit is insane. Like, it's completely different when you're talking about things like that. And so basic economics talks to you about the realities behind what her economic plan would actually really do to the United States. So I thought that this was important to hear Dave Ramsey's aspect of it, because Kamala didn't really have a lot to say, but he's going to explain a little bit about what is really in that plan and what it would look like for America.
This problem, dig them out of the hey, price controls. Talk to young people for a moment. Is that going to fix this problem, dig them out of that financial hole?
No, because it's artificial. It's not sustainable because it's artificial. If you just put a lid on something, and if you want to explore what really happens, just go back to the 1970s. We tried it. There was a whole movement for price controls across everything because inflation was out of control and rampant, just like it is now. And so it's been tried. It does not work. What works is to flood the market with supply. Lots of oil means lower oil prices. Lots of labor means lower labor prices. Lots of whatever means lower prices. It's a simple supply-demand curve. It's called economics, and it's called the free market economics. When you insert government in it and try to artificially cramp it down, it simply does not work because you can only hold that hose for so long until the pressure builds up and then it blows on you.
Okay.
So
I love him.
Yeah, I thought that was just really important for people to hear because, and there's a lot more we could talk about her economic plan, but just this is something that people are just not looking at the way basic economics works. And it's like, did we all just lose our mind? Did we all forget, how this really works and what it's really going to look like? Like, have we forgotten that nothing is ever free in life? Ultimately, nothing is ever free. Like,
And when it is free, it's not very good.
Well, yeah, but it's also never free. You're going to end up paying for it one way or another. It just depends on what it looks like, like it gets redistributed some way.
Absolutely.
So it's just really important for people to look at the facts behind that and not get sold on this dream of her promising all of these things, which, by the way, I just want to reiterate, she's been in office for 3.5 years, folks. She's already been there. So why have you not done any of this stuff? We are in the situation that we're in because of her.
And I think people really need to think about that.
Yes. I hope people do.
And we hope we shedded a little bit of
just
understanding.
A little bit of facts behind some
who
of
you want to vote for.
Yeah. Because facts matter, right? Facts matter.
And we don't have enough time to go over Waltz, but he'll be next.
We are going to do an episode on him. I'm a little sad, like, my little Biden pen holder is
irrelevant now.
I know. Like, I guess it's not. Like, I could still use it, but
yeah.
You
can be reminded of 2020 by looking at him.
What I should do is put like a Kamala mask on there, like a Kamala.
Yeah.
And then it works the same way, right? Works the same way. But anyway, yes, we're going to come back and we're going to do one on Tim Walz. That one.
We'll have a lot to talk about there too. I mean, they're equally disgusting. So.
Oh God, I think he's worse though. Like on a cringe, uncomfortable pedo vibe level, it's a different kind of different. Yeah. But yeah, it's important to get the facts around him out as well, because anyway, I'm getting weird. I'm getting all icky. Just God, he creeps me out so bad.
Well, we hope you have a super awesome day, and we will see you on the next one.
Yes, until next time.